Greetings, Patrick here, 8 Questions with, and welcome to the show. I'm glad you guys are here. Going to be a fun one tonight. One that's way overdue, way overdue. But we're glad to have it. A fellow film lover, film critic, Ryan Conway, will be here with us, and in about 15 minutes or so. And then we're going to chew the fat about everything and anything that we can think of. Ryan also, not only is he a very good film critic, he also has a nice collection of films that he showed off. He's also a sports fan, so we'll probably talk a little bit of baseball because it is that time of year, and a little bit more because he's an Orioles fan, and I'm a Yankees fan, and then he's a Ravens fan, and I'm a Steelers fan. So, you know, you just know it's going to naturally come up. But we're also going to be talking a lot about films too, because Ryan I really like about Ryan is he and I pretty much have the same style of films that we watch and review. We're not really being handpicked. We didn't cobble ourselves into any one genre. We will cover anything and anything. And I really like that. Um, I mean, it's not that I don't like, I don't. I mean, I can hold my own talking horror or anything else, but it's pretty exciting when you sit there and talk with somebody about a genre that isn't covered by most of your peers. So I'm looking forward to that, to talking to Ryan about that as well. Now, he is a dedicated theater goer. I mean, he sees a lot of films in the theater. Um, I think he might see the most of anybody I know here on the tube. So I have not been in the theater for years. It part two was the last time I went inside of a movie theater, and I would have been sooner, but the movie that I wanted to see was like 60 miles away, and I wasn't going to do that. Um, but but he goes to a lot of films at the theater for the experience. So I don't know. We'll talk about the experience because I'm curious to see how he feels about assigned seating and now how the theaters are just like. I mean, I've seen the popcorn buckets. It's absolutely insanity. Like 40 or $50 for a popcorn bucket. So we'll talk about that. And what's it like actually going inside of a theater with people in it? I mean, the things I've heard has been, it's a little bit of a crapshoot. I mean, you got a lot of people talking, a lot of people on the phones, assigned seating. You don't really get a chance to move around if someone's an asshole next to you. You don't really get a chance to get up and walk to a different seat. And that really can cut into your movie theater going experience. So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say about it. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Jerry, how are you? Hey, Steve, how are you? All right. Steve and Lucas Boy. That's right. I did my first Western retro tube today. And tell Lucas Boy I said I'm sorry, but I did not do the Rifleman, though I do have plans to do the Rifleman because I gotta at least get that clip where Micah calls Lucas McCain Lucas Boy. Do you know that's where I got that, right, Steve? I mean, I got that Lucas Boy. I got that from watching the Rifleman. Hey, John, how are you? Holy crow! I was sitting over at the Doomsday group, and yeah, my finger got worn out. There was a lot of weirdos that did not get inside. I think there was like 76 people that wanted to come inside the group. I think I only let like 4 in. The rest of them are just all bots. So, uh, not too bad. Not too bad. Hey, Mike, how are you? How are you? I'm about to head to sleep, but wanted to say, hey, All right. Yeah, yeah. I know. I knew you. I know we're really late for you, so I knew you'd be here for the replay. Yeah, me too. I grew up watching The Rifleman too. That's one of my favorite Western shows. But I thought actually thought that would probably be my first Western that I would cover. I thought I'm either going to cover the Rifleman or I'm going to cover the Lone Ranger, and I didn't do neither one. I ended up covering Lonesome Dove the series. They spun it off into a TV series that ran for 2 years in the '90s, and I ended up covering an episode of that show. Yeah, yeah, I had a feeling about that, John. I had a feeling about that when I saw how many there were. I had a feeling that he must be taking a break. I yeah. Oh yeah, Rifleman. Hell yeah, it is a great series. Um, I wish it would have ran one more year. Though, because I would have liked to see Mallory and Lucas get together. Lou Mallory. I would have liked to see Lou and Lucas get together. Patricia Blair. And Patricia Blair ended up doing Daniel Boone. Actually, he ended up doing Daniel Boone. So this one, yeah, but the Lonesome Dove the series, the miniseries came out in '89, and then there's a syndicated show that came out. Well, there was Return to a Lonesome Dove, and then there was a syndicated show, Lonesome Dove the series, which took the character of Newt, who was played by Rick Schroeder, and they recast the part, and so Scott Barstow, Bristow got cast as Newt, and they based the series around him. Hey Tony, how are you? Glad you're here. Glad you're here. We do got some couple of shows coming up. I did say I was going to be working on March, so I am, and so I definitely can tell you that March 10th, we have Kyle Strotz coming on board. I'm super excited about this. Kyle's coming on the 10th, um, and that was a pure shot in the dark. But we're going to talk to him, and he starred in the movie that we just got covering for the IFC Midnights, The Midnight Man. Kyle played the Midnight Man. So, and no, I hadn't. I didn't do the show. I didn't book the show until after I saw the Midnight Man. That's why I'm like, well, who played him? Because I'd like to talk to him. And sure enough, I was able to get a hold of him and book a show with him, and find out that he also has been in the Predator franchise. He's been in two different Predator movies. So that will be very fun. I have never talked to anybody. Uh, I haven't talked to anybody who's been a Predator yet. So it'll be really cool. And of course, the Midnight Man, we just covered it, and I put the link down in the description box, so you can go over there and check that out, or you can just go to the ISC Midnight's playlist and check out the Midnight Man. Hey, it's our good friend Dark Room. Yeah, doing well, but my brother. Yeah, we're gonna have fun tonight, that's for sure. And thanks for coming in for our interview with Ryan. Um, he's a really nice guy, and like I said before, this has really been well overdue. We did try to collaborate, and we will be doing that actually. Has something him and I will be talking about. Um, we will be collaborating. We tried it once before, but I messed up. I messed it up. But now that I know what to do and how to do it, we're gonna have Ryan come back in and for a collaboration, and we're gonna be chewing it up. Yes, yeah, I that'd be awesome. I still would like to talk to Carl too. That would be great. And I will be going after some young talent as well. There is a new movie coming out this year. I believe it'll come out this year, uh, called Rough Draft, and hopefully we'll be able to go get some of the young go-getters on that movie. I caught it. I caught an early screening for it, and really liked it a lot. I think Rough Draft is going to be a cool movie. Definitely going to be everybody's going to be talking about it, and it has a really cool premise too. So I'm looking forward to that. But I really want to I really want to talk to some of the young cast in that. Of course, today or tomorrow, Scream 7 comes out. So I know all you guys are gonna be heading over to see Scream 7. I know everybody is. Yeah. Yes, I definitely want to do that. Yeah, and I definitely want to talk to Danny. Yeah, it's definitely. Um, Nice to see some of the words that are coming out about the loss of Robert Carradine. A lot of people were commenting on that, and yeah, it's a real shame about Robert. But after I heard how it happened, and it just makes you feel, it makes you admire him a lot. Um, I think I probably, honestly, I think a lot more people probably do this than really is talked about when people have when they get diagnosed with dementia, like or bipolarism or anything like that. I do think do think that some people just get like they just get tired. They get tired. Um, it wasn't really until after I read Keith Carradine's his note, the release, that I had realized that while I thought I had seen a Robert Carradine recently, I really hadn't. I hadn't seen him do anything recently. I think the last thing I saw him do was like a 5-minute cameo for the Zoo Room, um, and he was just in there for a couple of quick scenes, and that was it. I really don't know the last time he actually did anything in front of the camera. The only thing I know is that he was he was a really versatile actor, really versatile. I mean, I know a lot of people like talking about the nerd movies, and they should by all means. But he was in the Big Red One with Sam Peckinpah and or Samuel Fuller. I think Samuel Fuller. That he did that movie with Lee Marvin and Mark Hamill. He also did one of a cult film, a favorite of mine called Cross. He was really good in that. I definitely will. I will. I'll definitely be. I'll email you. I'll message you right after the show. Yeah, man. I saw on Nicole's page, John. I saw the fur was flying. Holy shit, the fur was flying on her page. Yeah, she was on the warpath. Wrong person to get in her crosshairs. I tell you that. I love Nicole, but I would not want to get. I would not want to get on her bad side. She's a really nice lady, but she really is. There's no buts about it. She's a really nice lady, and if you manage to get on her bad side, man, you really messed up. Uh, all right. The doorbell has rang, so our guest is here. So you know what that means. Let's go get him. Thanks for coming in, and let's go talk to talk to Ryan from Real. See, I almost said Lost in the Real because that's Sean Jackson, but this is Real Talk with Ryan. So I'm allowed to get confused. I'm old. Ta-da!
Hey, what's going on?
There. Well, I had a prep for the show, so I thought I'd go over there, and I was getting all psyched up for like, hey, how about those Orioles today? But hey, how about those Orioles today?
Yeah.
They took care of business.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to really watch all the spring training games because not all of them are televised, I know. But I've been kind of, seeing what we do each day and stuff. I'll definitely watch all the games when the regular season starts. But because you got so many different players that are playing that aren't going to play in the regular season. But it seems like we're doing pretty good so far.
Now this is sort of weird. I have you, and then okay, there you are. It was StreamYard was lagging, but now it's caught up.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah,
I even did.
I go ahead.
I was gonna say when I went to log in, it wouldn't even let me do my camera. I'm like, what? So I turned off my iPad and I turned it back on. Now it was working. And I was like, why is my camera working?
See, the StreamYard's in such a big, they're like we made you get in your AI clips 3 times faster, and it's like
Yeah,
nobody cares. Nobody cares. What they
yeah,
care about is like they care about we'd rather not have lag. We'd rather not be frozen up. We'd rather not be paying an arm and a leg for your service. Generating AI 3 times faster is not a game changer for us. As you know, your comrade in arms, Mike, is here. Of course, he is 5 years ahead of us, so we know that he will not stay with us. I knew he'd come by and throw some support. I say we wait until he leaves, and then talk crazy shit about him.
What's going on, Mike? Thanks for joining, bud.
Yeah, man. Though, have you been following his man cave starting to form up, starting to look really good?
Oh yeah, I'm part of his
Yeah,
Patreon group, so he does some like early access videos and stuff, and it's coming together. I know we've kind of been talking in the background about some things he's still trying to get, and just some things to get together before he does like an actual big video. So I'm really excited for it when he gets it done and stuff, and it's gonna look good. It looks good right now, but every time he does a video, I'm like, you're adding something new in the
yeah,
background. You got all
yeah.
this stuff going on,
It's
so
it's,
it's
it's
gonna look good.
slow. It's slowly evolving. It's like, holy cow! Get another couple of months, and he'll be ready. He'll be ready for a man cave room tour.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I'm excited about it. I had the funnest time, in because I think I met you through Mike.
I think so. Yeah, I think from the
Yeah.
Z Talks.
And I remember last year we had some, or maybe it's even a year and a half now, but um, the Willy Wonka experience.
Oh yeah,
Oh
I
my
remember
God,
that.
that is I think that overall of all the silliest, the goofiest things I've seen on the tube,
Mm.
I still think that takes the cake.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy the background with that whole story and stuff. I mean, but yeah, I remember when he did that video or he was talking about that. I do remember that.
I was just laughing my ass off. But not too hard because someone did the same thing over here in Detroit for the Outlander series.
Wow.
No, the Bridgerton series.
Okay.
That's what they did. Yeah, they did a Bridgerton weekend, and it was just a cluster. Hell, it was just a cluster like Willy Wonka was.
Huh.
Um, yeah. The one thing I mentioned before you got here, and I think what I really like about you and the way you do your channel, because you're a really good film critic, and
Appreciate
what I
that.
really like is the fact that you review anything and everything. Ha-
Oh
have you
yeah.
always been have you always been that open-minded when it comes down to what you watch, or has it been shaped by your experience here on YouTube?
So for me, I didn't have a childhood where I watched a ton of movies. Like I feel like as in my childhood, I watched a lot of like Disney stuff, like Aladdin, Lion King. I got taken to a movie maybe like an occasion, but like I wasn't at the theater like I kind of am now. I really think that I really got into film like going to the theater every week. I would say like as soon as I got out of high school, so like 17, 18 years old is when I was going I mean, 3 times a week. There was like a point where I'd go on Sundays and they did like a $5 Sunday. This is all before they had all the passes and everything that they do now. But I just started to watch anything that came out. And I
Mhm.
also kind of like had a thing because I've always been a collector of things. But with movies, I used to, every time I remember, get off work because I worked in retail at the time. And I would get off work, and remember when Walmart would be open, 24 hours before the whole
Right.
COVID thing, and I'd go on Monday night into Tuesday because the Tuesday releases would come out, at midnight, and I'd buy all the DVDs and everything, and like I've always kind of like soon as I got like out of high school, like really into just being open minded to watching other things and other genres and never just sticking to one genre. I mean, I know I watch a lot of horror movies, but I mean, I really do go outside that genre, as you know. So that's pretty
Yeah.
much been my experience. Like, I started off having like a lot of kid movies, like maybe doing like, some action movies here and there. And then, just kind of broadening my horizons when I went to the theater. I just always loved going to the theater because it was always like a relaxing experience for me and really helps me unwind. So, and I like it because it's art. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
it's just cool to see someone's vision come across screen, whether you like it or you don't like it. It's always cool to just see the newest thing. So that's kind of just how I've been since pretty much 18, just seeing a variety of different things. So it's been cool because you see a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, it's sort of funny for me. It's sort of like reversed.
Mhm.
Let's see. Oh, Mike still here says, for Patrick, people thought Willy Wonka experience was as good as a Nora. God, gee, that's
You know how much
painful.
you love
That is,
that one.
oh, that's painful. That's a good one, Mike. Oh man, but you liked it, didn't you?
I did, but it's okay.
Oh my God, I can't understand that. Well, I couldn't understand. It's like I'm sitting here and I'm watching the Nora, and actually, when you said I liked it, I'm going like, okay, so let me get this right. So he likes the Nora, but he didn't like Challengers. I was
Nah, I
like,
hated that
I
movie.
don't. I, I was just baffled, because it was my first time I reviewed a film off of Criterion. I knew the history of the movie, so I wasn't totally blind going in. I knew that the movie had been bought and paid for, and
Uh,
even the producer had said that. The producer Lenora said that they spent more money marketing it for the Academy Awards than they spent making the damn movie. So I knew that already. And I knew what happened to the young lady who got smeared from the Brazilian actress. So
mhm.
I knew that, and wasn't really totally surprised, but I was just like, wow, the quality and the level of Academy Award movies have just. And I'm not talking just Honora, but I'm talking about
In general.
specifically. Boy, has it really gone down since the pandemic or what?
I mean, it honestly, and I've talked with this to Mike in the past. I feel like there's a lot of movies that, um, compared to some of the older movies, sometimes they're maybe not be as rewatchable, if that makes any sense. I feel like I kind of have to kind of like, what is it? Kind of go through a bunch of different movies to kind of get one that I really like. Like, so like for every like 4 or 5 movies I watch, maybe like one I might really like, and the others I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm glad I watched it. But maybe because I think also too, right, like, and I've said this to Mike also. Um, Now with directors, there's a lot of first time directors out there. So there's a lot of newer directors kind of in the film community in general. I feel like majority of the movies that I see new that come out, they're directors that don't have a big filmography or they've never done anything like that. So it's interesting now. Like that's kind of the direction of like movies in general. So I don't know if that's something to do with it. Maybe like the writers, it's different from the past where you would have the best writers, write the comedy movies and, write the action movies. And now you have, you know, a lot of different writers in general, and then maybe also too with Hollywood, maybe they just approve different things these days on what is acceptable and what's not. So I would imagine, like, I think there's a shift, in my opinion, just from the older
I mean,
movies.
it was just even you could even see that this year because they're talking about Marty Supreme or they're talking about for the Battle movie.
One battle after
You know,
another.
yeah, they're talking about those movies, but it's really weird as how you see that they're talking about all the nominees, and normally you always think about they always mention about last year's winners and last year's crop or what have you,
Yeah.
and it hasn't really happened for that for the last 4 or 5 years. You don't really ever hear about the past Oscars are winning anything, or they'll sit there and say, or because a lot of times the follow up is just not there.
Hmm.
It's just I guess the closest thing to a follow up, but that was like from the pandemic was Chloe Zhao with Hamlet.
Oh yeah.
Um, I guess that's the closest thing to like they connected it before to the movies that were either in the pandemic or right after it. But
Hmm.
that's like the only name I can recognize from the last 5 or 6 years that they're talking about today. Like
Yeah.
I didn't hear anybody talk about Honora at all in the coverage of the Oscars, like the upset
Yeah.
winner here or nothing, because no one cared.
I was gonna say in general that director, I don't think he's really in the mainstream either. I feel like a lot of the movies that are kind of in the Oscars are very niche movies, and in my opinion, a lot of the movies that are on those lists at times, a lot of them are not very accessible, and that's the biggest problem I have with the Oscars. I mean, there's movies on there that I haven't seen, and not because I just didn't want to, just mainly because they're not accessible. Like you can't watch them. Um, Even in the the Best Picture nominees, there's some of them that I have not seen in theaters because they have not been at my theater. So I don't know
Right.
how people are supposed to get into said movies if they're not available. Doesn't make any sense. I mean, this year it seems like the front runner is one battle after another. Now I didn't see that movie just because, for me personally, I feel from what I've heard, it seems like it's a political movie. I don't know if it is, but it seems like it from what everybody's been saying. But it just never really interested me in general. But it seems like that is like the big movie that everybody's kind of talking about this year. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I can't think of like Sinners. I guess was big talk, but I don't see Sinners winning that because it's
I,
too
I you know
mainstream.
I just yeah I just thought it's really funny you mentioned it because I saw the 16 nominations for that and I'm just
Yeah,
like I mean listen I like Ryan Coogler, I like Michael
yeah,
B. Jordan, but it's a fucking vampire movie. It's not high. It's not, the only
high
thing the
art.
only thing I was yeah, the only thing I was really rooting for as far as anything goes, because he's such a badass, is that I was super happy to see Delroy Lindo get nominated. But of course he has no chance at all winning. But I like seeing him nominated because he's always been fantastic in everything he's done. I
Yeah.
mean, you tell me a movie has Delroy Lindo in it. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that son of a bitch for sure because that guy he can bring it. Even at 73 years old, he can bring it. But I thought the 16 nominations, that was more for to drive the media narrative than it really was in honoring the film.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little surprising they got that many nominations, but I mean, it seemed like everybody was talking about that movie for a while. Um, it's interesting that, a movie like that and then like The Substance last year, like they kind of got a little bit recognized because usually horror doesn't get recognized at all. So it's interesting that it got that many nominations in general.
I still hear people talk about the substance. Even
Yeah,
now, even a year
yeah.
later, I hear people talk about it. I don't hear anything about who won the Oscar for the movie. Who won the best picture?
That was Honora.
Oh, I thought it was just the girl. Okay, okay.
I'm pretty
So no,
sure it
I don't hear.
was.
I don't hear anybody talk about Nora. I still hear people talk about the substance because it was so different and original. And but no, I don't hear anything about Nora. And when
Yeah, it
I
was.
was watching it, I was just like, the only thing it really did was just it just made me mad because it's just like, well, because I quit following the Oscars. Honestly, I quit following the award show after 2019.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
so it's all back.
yeah, because after my girl got the shaft, I said, "Screw that! I'm never going to come back to this at all. I don't give a rat's. I'm not, well, unless she happens to get unless she happens to get nominated, but otherwise, that no. See, see, Weir and Friends. Pat thought Superman 4 got snubbed in the Oscars back in '87. He called it Quest for Oscars. Man, you know what? But that would be like a I don't know what I would if they stuck you on a desert island and they said we could watch either Superman 4 or Nora. I don't know. Sure, I think I just walk out into the ocean. See, Mike says the club music in the sauna is still playing and still playing for you and you and Mike.
Oh man, dude, I don't know. Maybe it was my theater, but I thought about that. But then me and Mike talked about it, and I don't know. It's just the sound in that movie, and I think in general, it doesn't seem like I like that director all that much because he also did a movie called Bones and all that I didn't like. Um, I'm trying to think what else he's done. It's Luca Guadagnino is his name.
Yeah, I just picked up the movie he did this year called Queer with
Okay, I haven't seen
Daniel
that.
Craig. Yeah. It so so here so, so here I am. I'm supposed to go down to the library and I can't make it. I didn't make it. So but it brought me back Wednesday the next day. So I
Mhm.
said, okay, I'm here. I'm also just going to see what I didn't get.
Mhm.
So I walk in there on the new shelves, where they all but all the new movies at
Mhm.
one movie.
And it
And
was
it's a
Queer.
library, and it's a library movie. I go over there and it's Queer, and I'm going like, I'm not. I laugh because I'm going like, I guess someone did not want to be seen taking this out. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'll be happy to take it. So uh, uh, so I picked up Queer. It's the last new movie of the week,
Mhm.
and I talked to a couple of the resellers. I said, "You do know that movie you guys left last week? You do know that was an A24 film? It was? Oh shit!" I'm like, "Yeah,
Huh.
uh, yep." Uh, okay. Mike's also saying because there's so many movies nowadays, only a handful maximum will be remembered by the time 2030 comes along. And I
Yeah.
agree with that. I mean, it's gonna I don't know, just the type of movies that they're pushing these days. Like again, I like Sinners, but I just don't see it being a Oscar movie. It's just maybe you could cast performances. Like I know that Amy Mannequin. I think she got a nomination for Weapons.
Mhm.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. A great performance, but honestly, and I love horror movies, but can I ever see a horror movie other than it truly is worth Oscar? Can I see anything higher than something like an Exorcist? Something like that. I mean, can I see that
Yeah.
actually walking off with Best Picture? I can see individually, yes, but the movie wise, I, it's, especially when you match it up against like when what was the movie that Gwyneth Paltrow did with Shakespeare? 10 Things I Hate About You or something like that, or Shakespeare in Love.
Okay. Yeah, that one.
And that came out against Saving Private Ryan.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's just like to me, it's like there's just no way on God's green planet that kind of movie is going to trump over something like Saving Private Ryan
Yeah.
or Schindler's List, or you know I just feel like the best picture should really go to something that has something to say.
That's true.
Uh, but and Nora, I think the only thing in Nora, Mike saying that Mikey Madison showed off her pom poms.
She did.
Yeah, a lot, a lot. It was
She
like,
did. But in
you know,
general,
what
though,
really
I like
surprised.
that director, so that makes sense as to why I would like it because I've liked his other movies. So, I mean, but I mean, I don't know.
Um, yeah, the only thing I would try to give her another chance because there is something I did like about her,
Mhm.
and I did like her sound of her voice. She had a real when she spoke when she was just normally speaking on the commentary.
Yeah.
She had a really pleasant voice, and I was like, okay, let's put her in something that's worth her, that's worth her talent, and see where it goes. I mean, but I thought Honora was just was not impressed at all.
It's fair, man.
Yeah. Um, Speaking of the Oscars, I mean, what do you think? I mean, you've probably seen all the best pictures. The best pictures.
I
Which
haven't
one
seen
do you
them
think?
all, but I've seen quite a bit of them. I mean, I think One Battle After Another is probably going to win Best Picture. Um, I just I don't know. I don't see anything else that's really being talked about at the moment. I
Now,
mean,
is that a satire, or is it an action movie, or is it a dark comedy? Because I mean, I heard that Sean Penn's character's name is like Colonel Lockjaw, and I'm like, okay, that sounds like a bad GI Joe cartoon.
to
Um,
be honest, I haven't seen it, but I've heard mixed things about it. I've heard some people just flat out hate it, but I've heard people that really like it.
mhm.
So I think Mike was kind of okay-ish on it, but I don't know. I just never was like really drawn to watch it, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe I'll watch it down the line, but I'm not really in a rush. But I don't know. Everybody's talking about it. It seems like that's the movie that's you know the movie. So I'll be curious to see if that. I mean, I'm gonna watch it anyway, just to see if that's how it plays out. But yeah, I haven't watched it, but yeah, I've heard mixed things overall about it.
I think the movie that got my attention for this year would be Hamnet.
Mhm.
That's an interesting, and I do hope that it gets a. I do hope that. I mean, the Marty Supremes. That sounds. I don't know.
I really
Watching
enjoyed
them.
that movie, but I also enjoyed Uncut Gems. So, and it's very much like a Uncut Gems. So, if you've seen that and you didn't like that,
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend Marty Supreme.
Well, though it's funny. It's like watching these different actors, and you must have seen a few too that have evolved.
Mhm.
There's nothing more exciting for me than to see an actor evolve. Now, most of the time, it's always comedic actors evolving into excellent dramatic actors, but not so much the other way. Not too much. Comic actors going or dramatic actors going into comedy. To me, it seems like they always struggle. What do you think?
Of going shifting to dramatic to comedy, or you just talk about in general, just like shifting from different.
Just in general, I mean, if you think of all the comedic actors that have gone from being comics to dramatics, I think it far outweighs, the comic going into, or the
Oh
dramatics
yeah,
going into.
just because comedy really isn't around that much anymore at this point, we can't we can't tell any jokes anymore without someone getting upset. So I mean, I have seen a lot of comedians make that jump to dramatic. Actually, there's a movie coming out. I just saw the trailer for, and I hadn't seen him in a while. Jason Segel is coming out with like a drama suspense movie with Samara Weaving in like a month or two called Over Her Dead Body. And
Mm.
that one, he seems like he's playing like a really dramatic, spunky type of character. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. It's just in general, it's just always interesting to see like what some of these comedians end up doing in general. Um, and then it's interesting sometimes. Like there's movies. Like I will say this, I think Timothy Chalamet has won me over a little bit more as time has gone on. Like I said, I wasn't really a fan of was that movie that he did? Was it Seen Challengers? Now I'm thinking about it.
No, no, that was
I have.
he did
What was that movie he was in?
he oh gosh, what
He was
did he
in
do?
Dune. I know that.
Right.
But I really liked him in Marty Supreme. I thought he did an excellent job in Marty Supreme. Really, really had me. Oh, he did Bones and All. That was the other movie he did that in, like Bones
Oh,
and All.
okay.
But yeah, like I mean, I think like he's really won me over, and he's put on a good performance. I feel like he's getting better as an actor, and it's really cool to see people like that evolve, especially if you weren't really the biggest fan of them, like they win you over in a movie. trying to think if there's anybody that I can think of as another example that I just wasn't a fan of. But he's
I tell you the two actors I really liked a lot, and I didn't, when I watched it, and I was like, and I think one actually ended up doing something, has done something recently. But in Challengers, I like the two male leads. I thought they were great. I'm a huge Zendaya fan. Zendaya is amazing, and
oh yeah.
she really is. I think she's poised. She just needs the right project. I mean, I thought Challengers. I thought in any other and I thought in any other year she might have gotten a nomination for that, because that's a pretty interesting movie, and it's very
If
original, and he shot it so differently. And man, I I can still see, not the movie I can remember. I remember that movie really, really well, and I love the last 10 minutes of it, and I just thought it was so well done. And then she stands up and says, "Let's go," and I just love that. And it's like, man, she just let her she just let her rip.
mhm.
I thought she did a great job there. And of course I thought, when I was, because even though the movie on the surface was really bright and pretty to look at, I think once you look at it a little bit closer, it doesn't really hold up as well as one would hope. And that was The Greatest Showman on Earth. But I thought her performance was really good. I thought it stood out.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I think she's coming along and she's getting a career for herself. I know she's got a new movie coming out, Robert Pattinson, called The Drama, which I'm looking forward to checking that out. Looks like it'd be a pretty good movie. I hope.
yeah.
A24's kind of been like a mix for me lately, but I'm hoping that one's
Mhm.
a good one. So
Been told everybody about A24, but no one listens. Overhyped. It's overhyped. I'm telling you.
yeah,
Uh,
I felt last year they were very. There's a lot of mediocre movies for me for them last year. I didn't really love a lot of their stuff last year. I think last year, like the big movie for them is everybody really talked about Warfare. I never saw it, but they had like Warfare last year. That was their big movie that everybody seemed to really talk about last year.
and Civil War, people were, they were talking
Yeah,
about that until it came out. That's what
yeah.
I noticed about a lot of people with A24. They talk it up, and then once it comes out, it gets real quiet real quick. The Green Knight was like that.
Well,
Holy
they don't
cow!
market that well. That's the thing. They don't
No,
market their
every,
movies well.
well, they rely on word of mouth.
Yeah.
And they rely on people such as yourself or Mike or what have you, that are they're champions. They're like, yeah, social media will give it a big push.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, sometimes it does give it a big push, like off the cliff.
Yeah.
Hi Tina, how are you? uh see, thank you for coming by. All right, and you head off to bed. Well, sweet dreams. Yeah, yeah, I still say that. But I still get them. I mean, and I'll take a look at Lucas's new movie. Because I didn't know anything about it. But then I read about it. It's about William Burroughs, and I was like, wow, that guy. That guy's a car wreck. Um, and I'm like, why did they make it? I mean, and a murderer to boot, but they still made a movie about him. Okay, I'll have to. I'll, and I just thought something like, see, to me, that's something that's really like Daniel Craig. He's pushing his boundaries. I mean, he's pushing his boundaries, playing a
Mhm.
gay man, and Lucas is gonna sit there and tell him to go for it, and he's gonna throw himself into the part. I mean, he's it can't be all. It's got to be really hard for some actors to be asked to do certain things.
Oh yeah, I would
Like,
imagine.
could you imagine asking Tom Cruise to do something like that?
Yeah, I don't know if you do
No,
that.
I don't think like 70% of Hollywood, maybe even 80% of the leading men, I don't think they would touch that part.
Jason Statham. That guy doesn't wander out of the action genre
Oh
ever.
my gosh, that guy's so locked in. They don't, it's a shame too, because what's funny is Jason Statham. You know what really people really need to go back and watch, one movie to watch is Jason Statham?
Which
The
one?
Spy. Spy.
Okay, I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, it was with Jude Law and Melissa McCarthy. He stole that movie. He was so damn funny in it.
Hmm.
And you're sitting there going like, all right, maybe they need to let him have him some fun and some comedies. But Jesus Christ, and you're right. After the Expendables came out and his star brightened real quick, and you're thinking, okay, now he's going to do other things,
Nope.
and now he's back to the same old, same old. And
the
yeah,
variation of the same character.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Tired, but Ziggs has a tummy bug, so I can't sleep. I was going to ask Ziggs, is that your little boy or girl or cat? Don't pick on my bald cockney. I love Jason Statham. Oh, we do too. Oh, I'm a huge Jason Statham fan, but that's the reason why I want him to do other movies. I want him to act like he was really good as Handsome Rob in The Italian Job. He was really good in that.
Yeah, that was the movie I did like him. I mean, there's movies I like of his. It just ultimately depends. But yeah, I liked him in that. I liked him in Hobbs and Shaw. Actually, I liked Hobbs and Shaw. There's a movie he did with.
I heard that was funny. I heard it was good funny, good way.
Yeah, that one was fun. He did a movie with J-Lo called Parker, that I liked.
I love that movie. That movie was badass.
He did good in that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like
I thought Safe was really good.
Yeah.
I thought Safe was really good. I thought Redemption was really good. And the one, oh man, I tell you the one I really, as far as top 5 Statham films is, yeah, that's one for the, yeah, he's badass. Wow, what the hell? Here's good old StreamYard. Okay. And our friend has flown in. He's our Al Descartes, aka the Bat, is in.
What's Al?
Oh, and Gina says Ziggy is her dog. Okay. Yep. Al Descartes and him and I will be talking chupacabras on the March 8th.
Awesome.
Guns of the Chupacabra. Quality entertainment. Oscar nominee. So how old were you when you got into movies? I mean, what was the first genre of movie that when you started watching that you remember? Were you always an animation fan? Did you like TV? What kind of TV shows did you watch when you were growing up?
So for me, I did a lot of watching between like Nickelodeon and Disney. I watched Hey Arnold. I watched Rugrats, Rocket Power, Real Monsters, Cat Dog, Smart Guy. I remember Smart Guy was like a really favorite of mine on Disney. It wasn't a show that lasted long. And then I just watched a lot of like just the regular animation movies like Aladdin, Lion King. Those are two of my favorite Disney movies. And then, I would branch out to, some other stuff and then eventually get into comedy, like, as I got like a teenager and stuff like that. A lot of people have always said, man, you've never seen like this Arnold Schwarzenegger movie or this Dolph Lundgren movie. And I'm like, I didn't have because I don't have parents that are really big into movies. So I didn't have that introduction like everybody else does when it comes to movies. So like a lot of stuff for me when it came to movies was like discovering things for myself. So like a lot of old movies, like if you mention them to me, I probably haven't seen them. I'm just as bad as my
yeah, but your idea of an old movie might be 10 years old.
Right, because I haven't seen a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. How about Terminator Genesis? Seen that? What decade did that come out?
Yeah, I mean, and I've tried to watch some of the older stuff as I've gotten more into film and stuff like that. I think physical media helps me do that as well.
Yeah.
You know, go to like Goodwill and pick up like a Blu-ray or something, or there's ways to stream stuff, so I can do that as well. But sometimes it's tough because like for me and like yourself, I'm also a sports fan, so like baseball is about to come up. That's going to take up a lot of my time watching baseball. A big
Hopefully
football
not. Hopefully they'll settle to the cellar and that'll be the end of it. Did I? I'm sorry. Did I say that? I don't know where that came from. All rise. All rise. Yeah. It's funny because I have. It's always funny because I've always given Ken the hard time from Sledgehammer Horror. It's like, during the week that the Steelers play the Lions, I'm going to hate your ass for a week, right? I'm going to be talking hell of shit. And in fact, if he hears this, don't think I have forgotten that you still owe me a cat food bowl. He has to do a cat food bowl challenge. I haven't forgotten you. I'm just gonna have to pick it. I'm gonna probably pick it up real soon. We made a bet on the Lions and Steelers, and I thought the Lions would just kill us. So I was thinking, okay, because I couldn't do my cat food challenge with my buddy Hobbs because, I just couldn't do it with him. And so I said, well, I'll go ahead and make it. I'll do do the cat food challenge with Ken. I thought he'd win, Ryan. I really did. I just did it. I did it because I knew I'd be doing it, and I'd be doing it for the laughs.
Right.
Sure, shit enough. The Steelers didn't upset didn't upset them. I'm going like, oh, we actually won. So now we have to. So the cat food challenge is going to be he gets to buy his favorite pie. He has to get his favorite pie, full size pie, and then he has to eat it with his hands behind his back.
Oh wow.
Well, we used to do real cat food, but yeah, well, like I said, Hobbs' stomach got really sort of iffy on that. So I said, well, why don't we just? And this funny thing is like when I did that bet with them afterwards, this is so funny, is that he did exactly what they did in Revenge of the Nerds. He took a paper plate and he sprayed whipped cream on the plate, and that's what he did.
Wow.
That's what he did. Well, I said, well, that's not really honoring the bet, but I'll let it go and we'll do something next year. And then but I ended up doing it with Ken, and we can't do it with the Ravens and Steelers because that's just brutal. That's just, I don't know. There's just something primeval about the Steelers and Ravens when they play.
Always a close game.
Primal and primeval. What was your first horror fan? Gina's asking. That's a good question.
My first horror film? Is that what he's saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably
so
animated.
I would say like one of the first horror films that I watched was actually Scream. Actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was like when I was like maybe 12, 13, around there. I think it was on cable or something. Because I think the movie came out in '96 and it was on like TNT or something. I just threw it on. I was like, "This is cool."
Okay. Well, so they also cut some of it out too. Have you seen it since then? I mean, you've watched it.
Oh yeah.
What did you think of it? When the first time you saw it, uncut? What did you think of it? Did you think it was a dark comedy, or did you? Which it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be a funny movie because it was making fun of all the tropes in horror movies. Or were you expecting that, or were you sort of thrown off by just how violent, especially the first kill was?
So to tell you the truth, there was that movie and Scary Movie. I actually got them confused between Scary Movie and Scream for like when I was a teenager, because I didn't realize like there was the spoof and then Scream. But like with Scream, yeah, like once I saw like the unedited version and everything like that, I was like, man, this is cool. Like I really enjoy this. Because I've always had like comedy, so like blending comedy with horror, I was like, this is cool, like this is something that like I haven't really seen, it was fresh and new to me back then. So, seeing that was just really cool in general. And then like, it just kind of made me broaden my horizons a little bit more and get into different horror and stuff. Just like, and as time has gone on, I've branched out in all kinds of horror. So, it's cool that like that was like my introduction to it. And, because I mean, it's not like full out scary, but I mean, it's,
No, it's definitely. I don't think it was scary at all, but I definitely
yeah,
think it was ultra violent. That first kill with Tuber Ryan
right.
Conway. That
Yeah,
just that just to me, it just because I was expecting a comedy. That's what
right.
I read. I read in Fangoria, I read in Starlog, or all the Rue Morgue. I read, it's supposed to be a play on supposed to be a play on the tropes.
Hmm.
But when they killed her and how they killed her, man, I'm going like, oh fuck that.
Yeah.
It's like that is violent as hell. I
Yep.
mean, that kill right there, I mean, match it up against any horror kill out there. I mean, you talk about the best kill in horror. Her dying is right there.
Yeah.
And it just really threw a lot of people off. I knew it threw me off. I was like, yeah, I've not really seen any sort of comedy in this, even though they say, don't, whatever you do, don't say, I'll be right back. I just,
Yeah.
you're sitting there, you're watching the rest of the movie. The girl trying to get out through the cat door in
Yep.
the garage. She's trying to sneak,
Oh
trying to go
yeah.
through the cat door. It's like you want to laugh. You're going like, look at her, look at her. But at the same time, you're thinking about that. The only thing you're thinking is, man, they killed a teenage girl brutally and left her to die right in front of her parents. It's like,
Yeah.
how's that funny? How's that funny?
Yeah.
It took me out of it for me.
Yeah.
Um, and I liked the second one. I liked the second one. That was with Lee Schreiber, I believe, and that was a really good one. But I was more prepared for that.
Yeah. You kind of knew what you were expecting.
Gina's saying, my parents definitely didn't mind with some films then. Crazy. I was 4 when I saw Halloween and actually worked at the cinema when Scream was released. Scream is a good first horror. Yes. And that's the thing I would definitely tell people is it is a horror film. Don't
Yep.
don't expect, there might be a couple parts that you laugh at, but make no mistake about it, it is a straight horror film.
Yeah,
Um,
I would agree.
and so, I mean, my first horror film was Grizzly,
Okay.
which was a Jaws ripoff, but it was still badass.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
And so a 20-foot grizzly bear on the rampage,
Yep.
hell yeah, I'm all
Does
about
sound
that.
interesting.
Um, and people are saying, let's see, I know his first name. Why do I don't why else? I know you know his first name. So Dark Room Reviews, Ryan, always nice
Joel.
to see you.
Joel.
Joel. Okay, Joel. Okay. I knew it. I just knew it. I'm like, I should write down. I'm gonna have to write down everybody's first name so I can remember them. Like I remember Gina's name. I remembered her, but I remember Mike's name, so that's good.
Yep.
Um, Now, when you watched, did you ever have nightmares when did you ever any movies cause you to have nightmares and your mom and dad would come in there and say, we tell you not to watch that, but you still did and loved it?
No, I never have. I've never like. I feel like maybe I was. I can tell you there are a few horror movies that I have watched that have definitely made me think about keeping the lights on. And one movie that I can tell you that has always stuck with me was Sinister. That
Mhm.
movie, I remember seeing that in a theater, super dark theater, and I just remember coming home and I'm thinking, man, like I hope like Mr. Boogie does not get me, because I mean those kills in those movies of like the film reels of what Mr. Boogie does and that to all these different family members and like gathering the kids and everything. I mean, it just feels super real. Um, And then I also remember like another movie that kind of stuck with me and still does is like Paranormal Activity. Like that was I remember that was, I think that was more so my introduction into found footage.
Right.
Because that was like 2007, I want to say, when it came out, around there. And that was right when I was getting out of high school. So I remember when that got introduced and that was made like for like $10,000, and they showed like that, you know how like they show the audience's reaction as they're watching the
Right.
movie or whatever in the trailer. So when I saw that, not knowing like, they plan all that out, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like these reactions and stuff,
Sometimes,
like,
sometimes, sometimes
yeah,
they, for the most part, I think they let it roll. I don't think they want
okay,
fake. Nobody wants that.
I hope
um,
not.
no, and we'll get into that because like because I definitely want to talk a little bit about movie criticism, and I want to get your take on a few things.
Sure.
But yeah, I remember the previews for that came out, and they're showing the crowd and during some of the spooky parts, and the whole crowd would just go up. Yeah, I remember I've been in theaters like where that's been. I mean, I
Yeah,
remember I remember watching Signs. Me and my wife were watching Signs, and it was a
great
full
movie.
house. And there's the scene where they see the alien for the first time,
Yeah.
and there's this big brother, it's like he looked like a football player, and
Hmm.
he was sitting in the back, and he screamed like a little girl. I mean, like you hear him just screaming, everybody's turning around to see who screamed, and it was this big guy, and then we just all laughed. It broke the tension, and
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that movie is I actually in middle school, I don't remember why we watched it, but we watched that movie and we had to get like a permission slip to watch Signs in middle school. I don't remember why we watched it. I don't know. I think like something was going on, but I remember like we all went into the auditorium and we watched Signs, and I remember watching it for the first time. I was like, "This movie's awesome! Like, I really enjoy this movie." So that movie has stuck with me because I've seen it several times.
Yes.
So I've always really really enjoyed that movie. So actually, I have it back there in the collection. I love it. So that is actually an earlier movie I would say too that kind of got me into I guess you want to call that like a sci-fi horror-ish. I don't know what you want to call it for genre wise, but it's kind of like a mix of things, I guess.
Right. Right.
But yeah, that movie stuck with me too. So you just reminded me on that.
I Yeah, there's so many different directors that come out with, like people mention favorite directors, and man, I mean, I know M. Night has I think he's back on he's back in the groove a little bit. I know that he did Trapped, and which was everybody really enjoyed that one, pretty for the most part, and
Hmm.
I was glad to see that it got a really good reception. Um, it's funny because like I loved Unbreakable,
Hmm.
but the last 7 or 8 minutes of it, it was just like, oh god. And then he did Split, and I heard that was really great. And then the end of Split, then we go back and we see David Dunn, and then you get super hyped up, and then Glass comes out, and he's just he just wished that he Jesus take the wheel type of moment, like
Yeah.
anybody else but you take the writing wheel, and that, because it's a great premise, but good lord, it's a horrible ending. It's just like you just don't know, you just don't know how to close,
Right.
and you but do you think some directors or some movies, some movie genres like horror, do you think they're like, a lot of people do their write criticisms of it, or review it. Do you think horror as a whole is bulletproof, or do you think that as far as like people just don't care what a horror movie is, as long as it's scary and has some blood in it? Do you think some movies are like that? I mean, do you think that's one of the reasons why that Sinners is going to walk off with 16 nominations? I mean, is horror now considered bulletproof and the number one genre in movie making today?
No, I think honestly, every time a horror movie comes out, I'm looking to see how low of a score it's got on Rotten Tomatoes. 'Cause- because I mean, I feel like horror is the most criticized genre out of everything because everybody has a different interpretation of how they like their horror. There's so many different subgenres of horror. There's so many different things that you can get out of a horror movie. I mean, you can get something like a Terrifier where it's just flat out gore. You can watch a supernatural movie like, Conjuring or Annabelle. There's found footage, like Paranormal
Mhm.
Activity. There's a slasher movie, like Scream. And I mean, there's just so many different genres. And I feel like there's so many different people that like certain horror. I feel like one of the most, I would say, criticized type of horror is probably exorcism movies. I feel like
Uh,
no matter what exorcism movie comes out, why are we doing this? This is exactly like The Exorcist. This is bad. They shouldn't have any
you
more
know, you,
exorcism movies.
you know what it is? You know what it is, honestly? If you really go look at the people who are talking that way, you'll find that they're all slasher fans. Slasher fans cannot handle supernatural horror. I've had so many horror friends tell me like they can watch somebody get slashed, like scream,
Mm,
but they can't handle the shit like The Exorcist. That just scares them too much.
yeah,
And I love supernatural horror. That's my number one genre. Horror. I love supernatural. Give me a good supernatural movie, you got me every day, every time. Now, slashers are okay if they're done right. If they're done
hmm
excitingly and you know that's fine. But man, put me in front of a good supernatural horror, and yeah, let's do it. Um, let's see. And Lady Valerie mentions that she's very honed into slasher and supernatural horror, but the majority of the slasher fans, if you ask them about supernatural horror, they don't like it.
yeah,
It's something really dark and evil about that. With a slasher, you almost feel like you have a chance. Like okay, yeah, I could probably look at if Corey can whip Michael's ass, I can whip his ass. That type of
right.
thing, right? But if you get something like an Exorcist or a Dark Song or the Dead Room, all of a sudden it's like uh, 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 I slipped in some ISC movies in there. The, I just feel like man, it's so spooky, and you don't feel in control of it.
Right.
You're just along for the ride. You know, you can't overpower it. You can't stop it. It's sort of like Kyle Reese saying, you can't stop it. You can't reason with it. You can't negotiate with it. Um, the same thing with supernatural horror. You can't do that. If you get a good possession movie,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, let's see. I like a good supernatural movie. I'm all about that. I didn't see The Exorcist till I was like 13. And then I had done a lot of reading about it before I knew what The Exorcist was. I had done a lot of reading about supernatural stuff. And so when I watched it, I was like, my mom was really like, "You watched it, like without her, because she was
Right.
scared, because she was scared that I would be scared shitless." And we're like, "It's good. It was a good movie. There's not everything's correct or accurate, but it's a solid movie."
hmm
And I mean, and I was 13 then.
Right.
Now that I'm old, now that I'm older, I look at it and go like, they were on the ball a lot more than I realized. Um, I was like, it looks like someone actually, you know, Peter Blatty actually did some serious research before he wrote his book. Yeah, and I watched The Exorcist not that long ago, and yeah, it holds up really well. Let's see. Oh yes. Who's going to see Scream 7? Is it coming out? It's coming out today or tomorrow?
It's today. Nobody have any
Okay.
spoilers in the chat.
No, no spoiler.
I really
No
want to see
spoiler.
it. But
Yeah.
I honestly, I probably won't get to it till Monday. But my plan is to hopefully this weekend, hopefully watch all six again. Because I honestly have not watched the earlier ones in a while. I have them all back there in physical media, but I haven't watched them all in a while. I mean, I have so many movies, as you know. I mean, between doing the movies in the theater and back there in the collection, I mean, whew, it's a lot to juggle.
Yeah, you do your hauls at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And holy shit, man, you get a ton of deals. Um, yeah, you did your physical media room tour. You
Yeah.
have a you have a lot of movies.
Yeah.
You have a lot of movies. Is your wife into it as with you as well? I mean, is she a huge movie fan or just a certain genre movie fan?
She'll
My
watch
wife,
certain things. She'll
yeah.
watch certain things with me, but she'll tell me sometimes she'll see a trailer and she'll be like, "Hey, have you seen the trailer for such and such? I want to go see that." And I'll be like, "Okay, sure, we can go check it out." So like, there's some things coming up like she'll talk about I want to go check out. Sometimes she'll say, "Do you have this in your collection? I want to watch that." So
What's the one movie that she's caught you totally by surprise by wanting to see? You're all like, there's no way in hell. And she would never watch anything like that, but there she is saying, I'm gonna see that. What's the one movie that surprised you the most?
it's a good question. I mean, I know like coming up, she said she wanted to see Project Hail Mary. I didn't think she'd want to see that. So
But
you
that already
know,
came out.
that
Didn't
comes out in March.
Adam
Project Hail
Sandler did
Mary. That's
Adam
the
Sandler did it last year.
oh, you talk about that. You talk about the Netflix one. Yeah, I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about. Yeah, I
they
know
already
about
did
it.
it. I'm like, what project? But they did it last year with Adam Sandler. What's up?
I remember. Yeah,
It's the same damn thing, the same plot. I'm like, Adam Sandler did that already. I'm like, okay,
yeah. I
I
mean,
guess
it's
they
based
must
on a
be.
book, so I don't know how good the book is.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, it was weird the first time I saw the preview for it. The Super Bowl. I'm sitting there going like, I've seen this already. Where have I? Where it took me for a minute. I'm going like, I've seen this before. Oh, that's right. Adam Sandler did this movie. Same thing, Alien, and working
Yeah.
together, and it's like,
Yeah, and it's a longer movie too. It's like a 2 hour and like 40-minute movie. I was looking at the runtime for it. I was like, holy
oh,
moly.
good
Okay.
lord. Project Hail Mary is Project Laughs the movie.
I don't know. I mean, it looks okay, I guess. I'm not like thrilled about it, but I'll go watch it.
No,
You know what I mean?
it's one of those movies where I look at it and go like, yeah, it's a quarter. It's like it's like a Nora. When I saw Nora, I'm going like, yeah, I'll get that for a quarter if it comes my way. And then when it
There you
did, and I
go.
paid it. Then I paid a quarter for it, and then I watched it, and I'm going like, I want my 24 cents back. It's like,
Yeah.
the only reason I really picked it up, the only thing I was really glad about it was my first, and it's sort of disappointing, but it was my first Criterion review.
Nora was?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Way to start it off.
Thanks a lot. You're supposed to be jumping up and down, waving the flag, going, "Don't do it."
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Criterions. I mean, a lot of the stuff that they put out, I honestly have not heard of, if I'm being honest.
Let's see. Lady Valerie is going to see Scream, going with my bestie Cheetah. We've seen every Scream movie together at the theater.
Oh, nice.
We're making Steve laugh. That's awesome. I love that. Yeah. Um, yeah. I don't know. I hope that I read about the. Oh my God! I just could not believe this is actually happening. So I guess people are trying to boycott Scream for
Yes.
Melissa Becerra. Um, I felt really bad for her. I don't necessarily think she deserved to get fired. I just think she needed to. It should have been a teaching moment. A teachable moment. Like take her aside, sit there and say, "Listen, what you're hearing on the TV and everything is not exactly how it rolls. Here's
Mm-hmm.
some good books to read about how why Gaza is where it's at,
Mm-hmm.
and that the Israelis were there first, the Jews were there first, and but that's like when Jesus was around. That was their territory, and when the
Right.
Romans gave Gaza to the Palestinians. So it's like it's stuff like that. And I didn't think, I just thought she had youthful exuberance, but I didn't think that she deserved to be fired from the movie. And I just thought, well, that's, maybe she needs to learn about Toronto and Pearl Harbor to understand that a little bit better too.
Right.
But I heard the fandom is trying to boycott a movie. Do you think that toxic fandom is a microcosm of our society as a whole, or do you think that toxic fandom is just why do you think we have it now? It seems like a little bit more than we ever had. Do you think it's just because of where we're at as a country, or is it because the movies are not that good, or what do you think?
I just think it's a combination of things. I mean, I think, there's like politics really plays a big part in kind of where we're at, I think. Um, a lot of people have a lot more opinions now. There's a lot more social media than there was, 20 years ago. So like anybody can go on any social media and put their opinion out there, and people can hide behind a computer and be nasty and say what they want to say. For me, I never let any of that stuff kind of get in the way of watching a movie. Like, I'm there to be entertained for an hour and a half to 2 hours or whatever. So I don't really pay attention to all that. But I've heard with the new Scream movie that it actually is supposed to be one of the highest grossing ever. It's projected to make around 50 million on opening weekend, which would be the biggest gross.
Yeah.
Ever.
I heard last I saw it was $38 to $40 million, but does not surprise me to see it go higher.
Yeah.
I think people, does not surprise me.
I mean, I also think sometimes, not to interrupt, I think sometimes too, a lot of people just complain about stuff and then they still watch it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody complained about the halftime show at the Super Bowl, but it was the most watched ever or something like that anyway.
Yeah, most watched ever.
So so really, if you think about it, something that is trending makes people more curious to watch something. You know what I'm saying? The more traction something gets, regardless if it's positive or negative, I think even if it's negative, people are curious to watch it anyway.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
I mean, I think it's impressive that it's going to do as well as it is, considering that they already announced there's going to be a Scream 8. And which I thought it was actually sort of like a really bad marketing move. It's like, wow, you're already basically telling people that this is not the final chapter. You're not going to, there's going to be another one behind.
They're going to keep going.
I don't know. I mean, you could actually make a sense. You could actually make a play that you could have ended at 7. It could. Here comes Stu out of. God, I can't believe I'm saying this. Here's Stu coming out, still alive, even though a fucking TV fell on his head, electrocuted him. Yeah, the walking Stu. I'm walking here.
Yeah.
But so everybody's saying here comes Stu. He's going to come back in 7. It's like, to me, it's like, how can Stu come back in 7? It's like, well, he's been waiting for this all this time. It's like, what was he doing? What was he doing from part 2 to part 6? Just sitting there waiting? I mean, it's like, it's like, wow. I mean, what if one of the guys in Scream 5 would have got lucky and killed her? What would have happened there? I mean, you're still sitting here in the insane asylum, going like, oh shit, there goes my moment.
Yeah.
Let's see. They're estimated between $50 to $55 million.
Yeah. All right.
The critic score isn't the best at the moment, but people are going on about Melissa and not the film. I haven't read anything spoilery. I think you're right. I think people are good. I think what we're going to see is the only way that these people can, for the life of God, I don't understand it, but they can go to IMDb and they can hit the thumb down button, 20,000 times or whatever. People are still going to see it.
Well, this is the thing I'll say to you that I always see on the internet. I always hear people complain on the internet and say, well, there's nothing original anymore. Like they never
Yeah.
put out original movies. And then when they put out original movies, none of you all go to the theater and support it. You'll still
You want
support Toy
that's
Story 7 or whatever that comes out.
well,
I
that's what it
mean,
kills me
and I
with.
will
That's what,
too, but
well, yeah, I tell you what kills me. There's two things that'll kill me that just one is that one right there, right? There's
yeah,
nothing original, and you're sitting there going like, when's the last time you saw an IFC movie, an
yeah,
IFC midnight movie? What's the last time you saw? What's that? Just jump
yeah,
off the cliff. Um, because it's like they're there. I mean,
yeah.
or there are original stories out there. You have to be open minded enough to go look for them.
Yeah, I think the
And that-
problem now is today there's so much content. Like literally, if you think about it, we have all these
yeah,
streaming services now that have their week to week programs. You know, you got Netflix, you got Peacock, you got Paramount, Shutter, HBO Max, Hulu. You got all these major services, and then you got 3 to 4 movies coming out every single week in the theater. So there's so much content to choose from that I feel like there are some people that, stay home and watch whatever's on streaming. And now we've made the mistake of during COVID that you can watch a movie from your house, and people have gotten used to that. So now it's to the point where you may have a smaller movie from IFC, for example, and it's in theaters for a week, week and a half. And people know, oh, that looks like a streaming movie. I can just watch it in 3 weeks
yeah.
because the average time turnaround is like 3 weeks, and people go, I'll just watch it at home. And I understand from a point of view from like somebody that maybe have a lot of kids and like they can't get out to the theater very often and maybe get a babysitter. Like that's costly. Like, you get the
Yeah.
babysitter, and I get that. But if you're like a single person or just like a couple, like I mean, realistically, the movies, I mean, if you have a pass, I personally don't think it's expensive at all because, I'm paying like $27 a month and I can see up to 4 movies a week. And one
Nice.
movie, one movie
$27.
literally, yeah, is like $13, $14. And then if you do a premium format, it's around, like if you do IMAX, it's like 20 something. So, I mean, right there, like the pass is worth it. You know what I mean? So, but I
What
understand not everybody is in that situation to do it. But, you know, I think that's
what
where
what
we're
what's it
at with
like
the
going to
movies.
what's it like going to a theater these days? I have not been since it part two. I know all I know is that I know that the etiquette at the theater I just have heard has just gone really downhill. It's like you really sort of like you'll want to be in the theater where there's people in it. That's how I used to go. I used to go during the matinees. I used to go twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when Lori was working, our schedules were so mixed, so different. So I would go to the movies a couple of times, and I would go and one you could sit anywhere you wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
and and two you go to the matinee and you paid less price, and then and like I used to go most of the time. I would sit in the matinee. There'd be like 10 or 12 people there. Although one time I did walk in there on a matinee, saw cars in there, so they're playing a whole slew, and I'm peeking in the theater to see who's in. Nobody's in the theater. I'm like, where are all these people at? And
Right.
they happen to be in the movie that I was going to go see, which was Spartan. Awesome movie, by the way. Highly recommended. Yes. Yeah. David Mamet. Hell yeah. You definitely want to watch that. Uh, and everybody that was at the theater was in that one theater.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, especially when you bring snacks and people stare at you. Um, uh, but what's it like? I mean, to be put aside seating, or is this still a good time? Is it better time to go see a movie during the day, or during the night, like when Scream 7 comes out tomorrow, or a big hype movie like that? Do you like watching it when it's by yourself, or do you like watching it when there's a massive crowd?
I'll be straight up with you. I would rather go with the not being that many people. I I look at it like this. The job that I do during the day can be a stressful job. And when I get out of that job, I want to go to the theater and unwind and just relax. I don't want people talking during a movie. And I will say this, because I usually get out of work at like 4 o'clock, and I'll catch like the 4:30 showing or something like that. Most of the time, there isn't a lot of people. I would say if at most maybe 10 people at most, and that would be a lot, depending on the movie too. But my experiences, like for the most part, have been pretty good. Um, Once in a while, I'll get somebody that is just. Some people do some strange stuff at the movies. Like this past week, I went, and what I've noticed is, so now they do the assigned seating, and you pick your assigned
Yeah.
seats, and everybody uses the app and they pick their seats or whatever. Like the other day, I went to go see a movie, and it said like there's like 11 people in the theater, because I always check to see. I'm just curious, like how many people are gonna be in this movie. I think there was like 11 people supposed to be in the movie, and no joke, like we got like halfway through the previews, and like everybody is starting to walk in. So like people have gotten to the point now where they pick their seat and then they just show up like way through the previews and don't even watch the previews, it seems like to me.
Mm.
And I still see people like show up like past the previews and into when the movie's starting. Like I went to one movie the other day, and there was a couple that came in, and like previews are half an hour, and they came in like 15 minutes after the movie started. It's like 45 minutes. Like they're late technically, you know what I mean? And it's
Wait,
just so
previews are 30 minutes now?
they're almost a half an hour usually. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We were
And
lucky. We
then,
were lucky if we got 3 or 4.
yeah, I mean, it's usually about, I would say, 7 to 8 trailers at least. And sometimes they'll throw in commercials kind of like in between them, like maybe like advertising like M&Ms or something. You know what I mean? Uh, and then like, I don't know. I mean, I had to transition from just showing up to get my seat to picking my seat. And even though I still pick my seat, I still try to show up early anyway, because like I'm just that kind
Yeah,
of person, showing up
me
early.
too.
I personally miss the just picking your seat, like as far
I do
as
too.
like showing
That's
up
one of
and
the
like
reasons.
picking it, rather than having to go on a board and just be like, yeah, I want like C1 or whatever. I preferred that. Like it was, because to me, like it rewards those that like they want to show up early, and they should get the best seat because they're there. But I mean, I guess now like we're just more in a tech savvy world where it's just like, oh, you need to pick your seat, and you know,
I like the first come first serve. It always worked. It's
yeah,
like, it really did. I always enjoyed that a lot more. It's like,
yeah,
if I just would hate to go ahead and be assigned a seat, sit next to somebody who's yanking on the phone or what have you. And it's like I don't have the option of getting up and moving. Yeah,
yeah,
you totally ruined my whole experience, and refund my ass. That's one of the reasons why I don't go at nighttime. I don't want to go
yeah,
and be sitting next to somebody who's not into the film. Um,
yeah. I
let's
would
see.
recommend going on like a Friday, Saturday night, like at like 7, 8 o'clock, because all the teenagers are out and stuff. Especially for a screen movie. Oh no, I won't do that.
No. Let's see. Gina says, I buy physical of everything. I want to see that. I buy physical of everything I want to see, as I can't do cinema due to anxiety. I
Make,
decide by reviews and kill counts unless it's something I know I'll probably like or collect. So, in other words, Gina would be sitting there telling me that she would actually go out there and buy a copy of The Midnight Man, and then I would tell Gina that I love her so much for that, and thank you. Uh, what is yeah? So I mean, God, I guess going to the theater, and now, the what is the average price at nighttime now? See, I haven't talked to anybody lately about this, but I see the people that go at nighttime. Well, tickets are like $15 just for the movie, right? And then they have all these popcorn buckets or drink buckets.
yeah.
Wow. What else? Why is this so? Do you think that's helped business, um, or just made it more? I don't know, more weird.
I mean, I think it just depends. Like, I feel like now, like a family, they treat it more as like if they're going on like a vacation or something. The movie, like, it's gonna have to be a movie that they really want to see. Like, for instance, I think for like a family, like what big movie are they gonna see coming out? Like coming up, it's probably gonna be Mario. Like that's gonna be the next big family movie. Um, and I just, popcorn now, like a large popcorn is like $10. A drink, I want to say maybe like a large drink, maybe $6 to $7. I want to say around there. Candy, like $4 or $5, and then like everything else is just depends what you want. But I mean, it's tough for a
It's fun.
family. It
Yeah.
definitely is
It's
tough
fun.
for
It's
a
funny.
family.
It's funny when I see a family inside Dollar Tree and you see them just grabbing all the candy up. As soon as you see someone just grabbing it up, you're going like, "Oh, so what movie are you gonna go see?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um.
mean, I've done that too. Like, I've bought like candy at the dollar store and kind of brought it in. But most of the time, though, like I, I'll be honest. Most of the time when I go to movies, I don't always buy snacks and stuff like that, just
Yeah.
because, like, that's just extra cost. I mean, not to say that I don't. I mean, because there are times I do get popcorn. A lot of times when I go with like my wife, because even though we don't go like she doesn't go as often, like, yeah, I usually
Right.
will buy like popcorn or candy and drinks. So like I support them, but I just do it a little bit more sparingly rather than every single time that I go. I mean, I'm giving them my membership every month, and I'm showing up and seeing the movies. So
Right.
I'm supporting them technically. And there's different theaters I go to too. So I'm not just like supporting one theater as well. So, I try to make my rounds. So, you know,
I'm gonna put you on a spot here a little bit.
yeah,
But I want you to tell me five of your favorite YouTube channels film channels that you like watching and seeing their content.
sure. So I watch a channel called Mid Level Media every day. He has a video all the time. Ken is great. He's great with physical media. I watch Movies and Sue. I think she recently changed her name. But she has a wide variety of videos. Like she does hunting videos. She does book content. She does, like her collection. I mean, she does what's coming out on physical media. She does box office reviews. So I like watching her stuff. Trying to think who else I watch. Uh, I love Mike's channel. He's one of my best friends, so I'm gonna throw him out there just because
I
whatever
was
he
gonna
does, I
say,
support.
I was gonna say it's getting close. That five's coming up real quick.
He knows I watch all of his stuff, so
I watch his stuff too. I
uh,
watch his stuff too. He's funny as hell. I mean, especially when you get him if you get him going on a weird thing that's happened. Like I said, we had so much fun with the Willy Wonka thing. I mean,
yeah,
it's just like like he did when he had his talk his panel up
mhm.
Z talk and like for three times in a row that he had me up there for three times in a row our discussion ended up being how we snuck snacks into the theater.
Yeah.
All three times I went up there at the end of it we're all talking about how do you get snacks into the theater. I'm like, how do we end up on the subject again? We're talking about all these different movies and actors, and then also
Yeah.
it just segue over to like, so what's your favorite movie to sneak in the theater? It's like, wow, this is it just made me laugh.
Yeah. Some good times over at Z Talks for sure.
See, let's see. Gina saying here, you would have loved the cinema I worked in. If you were noisy, you got a torch shown in your face and shushed. If that didn't work, you got kicked out by her. I had so much fun. Yeah. Oh God, people are just talking and on the phone, and it's just like
I've had some experiences, believe me.
I just yeah, I just couldn't do that. If I'm sitting there spending that kind of money in there and you're just rapping, talking, it's like, dude, why don't you go outside in the hallway, do what you need to do, then come back in and watch the movie with the rest of us. Don't be,
Yeah.
oh, you won't believe what's happening. Girlfriend, you're in danger.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, sometimes I just get the strangest people. Like the other day when I went to go watch Psycho Killer, there was a couple that came in, and it was like maybe I want to say like 15, 20 minutes into the movie or something. And as soon as like they walked in, like the guy walked back down the stairs or something. And I don't know if he went to the bathroom or something. And then I think like she walked down the stairs and then she came back up, and they did that like a couple times. They watched maybe like 30 minutes of the movie, and then they ended up leaving. I guess they didn't like the movie or something. But like, I don't know. Like, even if I don't like a movie, I still like to finish it. You know what I mean? Like, I still want to be that completionist to finish it, even if I just don't enjoy it. I don't know. I just think it's strange, like how much a movie is, and somebody does that and wastes that time. But I don't know. you know,
I,
doesn't make sense
I,
to me.
I know you go to. I know you see a lot of mainstream movies.
Yeah.
Um, I know that. Do you ever watch independent stuff? I mean, stuff that you see, like myself will review, or some other people will review the really tiny movies. You ever watch? You ever review those?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, sometimes you kind of have to hunt for them a little bit.
Mhm.
Sometimes I can't tell you how many times I've seen a trailer for a smaller movie and I was interested, and my theater will advertise it, but they will never get it.
Yeah. Oh my
And
gosh,
I'll
they
have
were
to
like
wait
that
till
with Madame.
streaming.
They were doing that with Madame Cliquette. It was the about the woman running the vineyard,
Hmm.
and they were showing the videos for that, saying, yeah, it's gonna be, we're gonna spread it out, it's gonna go nationwide. And I was like, that's awesome. So I go to my local theater, and going like, this is gonna be, it's gonna be great. No, not playing my theater anywhere. The closest it got to it was 60 miles away. And it's
Yeah,
just like, how come you guys can't play it closer?
yeah,
Um, and the other thing I was going to say, I got a couple more questions for you before I let
yeah.
you go. Um, you ever watched a movie where you got angry? I mean, like, it's easy to watch a movie and love it.
Yeah.
I mean, majority of the people will love a movie. Some people might not like a movie. But you ever watched a movie that you really got sort of like physically angry at it? Like, this is, just for, something in the movie itself, whether it be the subject matter or the director's choice or the actor. As a film critic, have you ever watched a movie that you just sat there and go like, this is just straight bullshit? Not not
Yeah.
not 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 no not no no. This is a bad movie because of this, or this is a good movie because of that. But I'm talking about a movie where you sit there and go like, man, this is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten some screeners that I haven't been so happy to have to sit through, and I'm just like, I think there was a movie I watched, man, set like I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. I don't remember the title now. Something along with worms or whatever. And just like the subject matter and like what's going on in the movie, I'm like, I just don't want to watch this and even review this, and like what is going on in this movie. Um, just some of like the imagery in it, and just some of the stuff was just gross. I really wish I could remember the title, but I don't right now.
Yeah, I
But
wish you could.
um man, I wish I could remember what it was. I remember it was like my number one like worst movie of the year. I wonder if I have
Oh,
it
okay.
on my letterbox list. Man, what is that movie called? Because I could tell you what it is. Let me see.
Let's see. Patrick, don't forget you said you wanted to do a review. I think it's called. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes, I know what movie. I still have that. I definitely am going to review that. In fact, I will end up putting that on my dollar theater playlist. I'll look for it after the show's over. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got a couple of they're called what are they called? Maneater. It's the Maneater series. It's like 30 of them, and
Oh wow.
I have, yeah, I have. I've reviewed a couple. I reviewed Sea Beast with Corin Nemec. He was in it, and Camille Sullivan.
Hmm.
Uh, that's who I love to get for the show. God, I'd love to get her on the show.
I found it. It's all jacked up and full of worms. Is the movie?
Oh, God.
Came out in
Jesus.
2022, and that was my worst film that year. That movie annoyed me, I remember, and there was another movie that came out that year called Dash Cam that annoyed me.
Dash cam. That sounds
That
familiar.
that was like a found footage movie. It was there was a little bit of political stuff they put in it. I was just like, this is just no. So
Dash
like,
cam.
yeah,
Who directed that one?
Dash Cam.
Yeah.
It was Rob Savage.
Yeah, it sounds familiar to me.
He did the Boogeyman movie in 2023, and he also directed Host.
Oh, the one during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I heard that was really good.
Did I watch that movie?
I did
Yes,
one called Self. I did a short film called I reviewed a short film called Selfie. Had the same premise to that. That was
Okay.
real spooky. Yeah, I definitely do that, and I also got I also had the last I also had the last episode of Dawson's Creek that I found at the library. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, I thought I'd go ahead and review that. I review that because me and Eric we were talking about Renegade, and we were talking about Eric Dane passing, and I knew that James Vanderbeek. I knew he was really
Yeah.
sick. I knew he was real close. Just the last time, the last couple of times they showed him on TV, he just like, yeah, he's not long for here. He's
Yeah.
just it sucks saying that, but but you dance with cancer long enough, you recognize it. When
Yeah.
someone's really sick.
Makes sense.
Let's see. Oh no, when I worked at the cinema, there was no such thing as mobile phones. I kicked my brother out one night. That's hardcore. So what's my last question to you will be what's going on with your channel? What do you have in short-term plan and long-term plan? I know short-term plan is you and I are going to do this again for RetroTube. Yeah, I know how to do it. I fucked it up last time, but I'm on top of it this time. So we definitely got to come to do that.
Sounds good.
I don't know if you want to do the same one or want to do something different.
We could do something different since we already talked about this.
Yeah.
Probably.
Man, that was such a good show too. That would have been so much fun. But
Yeah.
we'll do something different. We
Yeah,
can still
fine.
keep it animated though,
Yeah, sure.
if you want to.
Yeah,
So what's next for your channel? What do you got planned short term and long term for 2026?
Yeah, I mean, like for me, like I just, I've been enjoying doing the physical media hauls and just doing the shorts. I think for me, like that's just more, like just more in time constraint of just my schedule in general. Just than rather
Right.
doing the full reviews because it's a lot of editing and just sitting there and trial and error to do that. Like I put a lot of time into those when I used to do those. I just like I think like short term like content seems to be kind of like the trend at the moment. I guess it seems like because I'm seeing more YouTubers do it. Honestly, like
It just sucks. It sucks because I sort of go the opposite. But
no,
it
I
sucks 'cause
understand.
it's like my attention. I just feel like people's attention span is like what you can't sit there and watch something for 10 or 12, 15 minutes if it's something really interesting.
Yeah,
I can do that. I can hang in there. Not you. I'm just talking about people in general.
yeah,
It's
in
like
general, yeah,
like I like a good essay. If someone comes out there with a 30 or 40 minute, like this one girl, she does her Columbo.
mm.
Oh my gosh, I listen to her shit all the time. It's amazing. She puts so much time and effort into it. I can't. I'm there for the whole thing. It could be an hour and a half. It could be up to an hour and a half, and I'm there for the whole thing. It's just so good.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, like
Uh,
everybody has like their preferences and like what they want to do. I mean, I think for me, like that's kind of like working out, and I'm cool with it, and it gives me more time to, like spend time with my wife and stuff. So,
yes, that's
you
first.
know,
That's first and foremost.
yeah. So like it kind of just, it helps out with my time. So like I've been kind of just enjoying that, and then I watch everybody else's channels on the side too. So like I'm pretty good at keeping up with people's channels, I would say.
Yeah,
So
you are with me. I always know I'm going to get a after a Tuesday. I always know I'm going to get a comment from you. A
oh
lot
yeah,
of times it cracks me up because a lot of times it's like, I've never seen this before, and I'm like, one of these days, I'm actually going to hit him with a movie that he has seen.
I
You know,
know.
it's like,
It's crazy because there are times where you'll be saying it. I'm like, man, I have like nothing to comment here on this video. I don't know what any of this stuff is. You know what I mean? Like, and there's certain people that do certain videos that I do support, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about or what this video's about, but I'll give you a thumbs up. You know what I mean? I try to
that,
keep the interest, you know what I mean? But I just don't know what it is, you know what I mean? So,
well,
you know,
hopefully that's what I'm trying to do more collaborations with the retro tube. And so far, I mean, I've got one down. I got more people willing to do it. So I definitely would, I definitely want to talk to you off camera about setting that up
yeah,
because,
sure.
man, yeah, it's a lot. It's a yeah. I like the collaboration.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
it's a
man.
lot of fun. All right. That is going to be it for today. We've hit our point. In fact, we went way past our point. I want to thank everybody and Gina. Thank you so much for staying for the whole show.
Yeah,
I do
appreciate it.
appreciate it. Yeah, that's
Thank you.
awesome. I don't know if Lady Valerie's here, but I know she's listening. So thank you so much. And of course, Mike's up there cutting Z. So thank you again. That's probably where the Z that.
I got it.
What? He held me up for a whole damn year or he said, I have something planned up. I have something planned for for you and Ryan. I'm gonna give you some bad movies to watch. You got to review a bad movie. And I'm like, oh
Yeah,
shit,
I
yeah. I'm
missed
like,
that series. I missed when he
yeah,
did
I
that.
missed. Yeah, I'm like, I'm waiting for him to come up there and give us our movie. I'm
Yeah,
sitting there for a whole year, like, oh, what's he gonna give me? He's gonna give me something really bad. He's gonna give me an A24 film. Oh man, what's he gonna hit me with? And then nothing.
yeah. Yeah, I'll have to ask him if he wants to do that again. I mean, I enjoyed doing that. He gave me like Velocipaster last time, which was
That's a classic.
that was something
You,
else. That movie,
you like that movie,
that movie was something else.
but that I love that movie. That's probably my favorite. That or Carousel or my two favorite Wild Eye movies.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of their stuff, but yeah, it was an interesting experience. That's all
I
I'll
love
say.
the last one. That guy never made another one. He I think he did like 3 or 4 different fundraisings,
Mhm.
and nothing ever happened.
Wow.
Supposed to be out this year too, but you know what? After 5 years, I don't think anybody gets a rat's ass. Um. I hope you had a great time, Steve. And yeah, we got new people coming in next month. On the 10th, we have Kyle Strotz will be with us. He starred in the Predator series, and he also was the Midnight Man. So we talked to him about that. Lady Valerie's still here. I knew it. Um, maybe we could do like a Bigfoot collaboration.
Bigfoot. Okay.
Man, I don't know what it is. Like I just want to grab somebody and do Bigfoot.
Okay.
Um, and somehow every time I go to Lady Valerie, I'm like, let's do Bigfoot, and then it's like, yeah, I don't know about Bigfoot, but we should do Bigfoot. So we need to do a panel about Bigfoot. Um, get like 10 people up here and say, tell us your Bigfoot experience. Um, yeah, and on the 11th we have novelist Frank. Ooh, I don't know how to say his name. I don't want to crush his name. It's like a Schindler. Cinder. I have to ask him how to say that. And he'll be here on the 11th, and then I got more stuff coming up for March. And of course, March 29th, we're all going over to Ben's channel, Cadaver Club. We are finally on the ISC Midnights. We are finally reviewing a movie I thought we would have got to a long time ago, The Babadook.
Oh.
Our
Okay.
first time. I'm
All
like,
right.
we've done almost 60 shows and we've never hit the Babadook. And
Okay.
so we're finally hitting it and looking forward to it. All right. Thank you guys for coming. And we will see you Sunday night, 6 p.m. for RetroTube TV. Hopefully, I'll see some of you there. Thanks for coming and have a great night. Peace.
Peace.